don't look down.
'Cause I'm on top of the world, eh? I'm on top of the world, eh? Waiting on this for a while now, paying my dues to the dirt.
Hi, I'm Kathleen. I'm from the Retail Digital Department. I'm here with Sardar Kilik, who is our Development Manager in IT, and we're here to talk to you today about our Leadership Spotlight concept and how that came to life. So Sardar, can you just start with by telling us what it is you do?
Yep, so I'm basically the Development Manager here, so responsible for the internal web applications and the portal plus integration.
Excellent. So pretty much Stephanie Kramer came to me with an idea of this Leadership Spotlight concept, and basically it was like, how do we make this concept come to life? So utilising our resources in-house, I then came and spoke to Sardar, and we started the process on how we make this come to life. So Sardar, when I came to you with a brief, where does one start once they're giving a design brief?
So what we're after is trying to understand exactly what the customer wants. So we have a look at the design brief, we have a look at the functional requirements as well, and then we do our research into what's available. So for this application we looked externally at first just to see if there's any package solutions that could fit the bill, and we evaluated a couple of them, and whilst they had their strong points, we had some issues getting them running on our servers, so we ended up building a solution in-house.
Wow, so that was something that you built from scratch?
Yes. Yeah.
And there was no cost to the company?
No, just
that?
time
But
and resource.
Treating every dollar as our own, so well done on that. So can you explain how you took the design brief basically and made that come to life?
Yep, so we've got the creatives from the agency that gave us the design mock-ups, and basically we start from the front end and create the HTML up front, and then from there we work towards the back end and the database and back end system, and sort of integrate everything into a web application.
Excellent, sounds exciting.
Yeah, it was great. It's one of the more exciting and engaging projects that we've had an Inchco for a while. So
oh, wonderful. So this is a solution that will be rolled out across the board?
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
So this is another example of how innovation can be used in-house, and taking a project and making it come to life.
Subaru's chief engineer, Hip Bowie, made Subaru headquarters aware of a possible issue with the Forester XT that instigated a worldwide service campaign.
Safety is not only our duty of care but our company philosophy. The fact that something might cause an issue is reason enough for me to report it. I did it because we are Subaru. We are all for the driver and how we look after our customer.
We're here at Port Kembla today to showcase a great example of how AutoNexus strive for continuous improvement and innovation. We've also enhanced the customer experience through quicker vehicle turnaround and improved visibility of vehicles throughout the supply chain. Using RF and 3G guns, AutoNexus currently scan about 70,000 vehicles per annum on the wharf, and this has previously been a very inefficient process. The underlying issue was that when a vehicle was scanned, the processor would send a signal back to a central server, which would verify details in SAP and then return a message back to the gun. In some locations, this could take several minutes per vehicle. AutoNexus works with its IT consultant, Stream Consulting, to significantly improve the processes and recode the guns. Shipment data is now downloaded onto guns prior to attending the wharf, and the information about each vehicle is recalled from data stored locally on each gun. All screens on the gun have been redesigned to allow for easier navigation, and processes such as wharf scanning, vehicle receipting, vehicle locating, clocking on and off tasks have all been streamlined. It is estimated that over 4,000 man-hours have been saved per annum by these changes. So Vanessa, how long has it been since we've implemented this new process?
We did development stage earlier on in the year, about April, and then we went testing from on there, and then went on to actually rolling it out about June. It's been going since then.
Excellent. So how long did it previously take you to process a full shipment under using the old method?
A day to 2 days, yes.
Right, so a shipment of what, 500 could take you several days?
A good 2 days, yes.
To process,
Yes, to
okay.
process.
And how long would that shipment of 500 take you to get through now on the wharf?
1 day,
1 day, excellent. So we've basically cut the processing time in half.
certainly have.
That's excellent, excellent. So there you have it. Not only have processes been significantly improved, data integrity has also increased, which means customers have better visibility of vehicles throughout the supply chain. Another great example of how AutoNexus are driving efficiencies and customer engagement at the same time.
I have been told that you have a great example of a customer experience that you would like to share with us.
I've actually got a really good customer experience that demonstrated some great leadership behaviours that we've discussed prior to this, particularly based around engagement, where we had a client who was very keen to organise a surprise purchase for his wife, and our team all rallied together to really add to that experience, particularly creating a magic moment experience at time of delivery. Peter, you were the sales consultant involved with Tim and Kylie. Correct. Can you tell us what happened on the day?
Initially, they make a phone call on Friday afternoon. Tim told me I would come back with my family, with Kylie's wife and a kid, test drive the car, make sure it fit the whole family in the car. So I'll make sure the cars are ready on Saturday morning, because they have a small time in the morning so they can rest of the day for the weekend for a family day. And then I'll get the car out, and they go for a drive, come back, Kylie loved the car, and then Tim pulled me aside and say, I want to do this surprise for my wife, so without her knowing. So that's what I'll come in and help them out and just make it right.
Great. Okay. So that was the start of the plan to buy the car on the side without the wife knowing.
Correct.
And hence the team getting involved to play along
that's
with
right. They back all the paperwork.
And then you passed
Just to
on
my
to
business,
Brad
since senior business manager to look up the finance side and get it all.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's talk to Brad. Okay, so Brad, you were the gentleman who organised finance for Tim and Kylie at the time. Actually, it was just Tim, because Kylie was aware of it. But can you tell us what happened on the day?
Yeah, look, it was a really good thing to be involved with. Tim was very keen to get things done quietly and away from his wife. So he and I spoke. We then got into the finance mainly via email, because he was really sort of overseas and doing lots of travelling. We put the finance contract together, had the documents all set up and ready for it, and did it all really quickly without Kylie finding out. So it was great.
So Laura, you were looking after a key part of this whole plan here for Tim and Kylie.
Yeah.
Little did Kylie know, but she was bringing her X1 in for service on the Monday, which was the 2 days after test driving the X3 on a Saturday.
Yeah.
With the idea that her car was coming in for service. However, you and Tim had a little plan on the side, from what I understand, whereby you were starting to prepare the new X3 for Kylie. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Kylie brought the X1 in for service and was waiting around while we got that sorted for her. But in actual fact, we were getting her car valued and getting all the information from that we needed to be able to obviously trade that for the X3. And I was speaking to Tim while he was over in Malaysia, figuring out a best plan to get her to come back when the X3 was ready.
What was that plan?
We told her that there was an issue with our system, we couldn't reset her service light, so once that was all fixed, I was going to give her a call to get her to come back so that we could just quickly reset that for her. Actually, we called her when the X3 was ready to be taken delivery of, and while she thought she was waiting around to have that fixed, we were getting her personalised number plates swapped from the X1 to the X3. Got a really nice big red bow put on the X3 for her, and parked it out, hit it out the back corner of the car park to take her out and surprise her.
So she came back in 2 days later,
Yep.
expecting to pick up the X1 after having been serviced.
No, she came back 2 days later expecting it to wait while we just reset the service light for it.
However, instead of that happening, you walked her to the delivery bay and unveiled the all-new X3.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We walked around and we were just chatting, and she wasn't paying attention. She just thought I was walking out to show her to her X1 just to show her where it was parked. And I pointed to the X3 and I went, "There you go, there's your car." And she wasn't. She's like, "That's not my car." She's like, "You've got the wrong one." And looked at me like I was a bit simple. And I was like, "Yeah, no, look at the number plates. That's your car."
Fantastic. And all the while, her husband was overseas.
Yeah.
And did we have something planned for her husband whilst he was away?
Yeah, we got one of the sales girls was hiding in the corner videoing it, the whole thing, from taking her out and her initial reaction and the shock, and it was amazing. So we obviously sent the video to Tim so that he could see what happens.
And there were a few tears from what I heard.
Yeah, a little bit of tears. She was ecstatic. She didn't really know what to say. Obviously, it was a complete shock for her. She actually thought that car had been sold because she'd been in on the weekends and came in on the Monday and couldn't see it anymore. So she was actually a bit bummed, thinking that it had been sold. Little did she know that it was sold to her. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of words, but a few tears from her and lots of hugs and
a few tears from you as well.
Yeah, a few tears from me as well. He wasn't emotional. She was excited, and it was a really special moment. So I was glad we could capture it for Tim so that he could see wherever in Malaysia. That's okay.
So what I really loved about that story when I received the letter from Tim, our client, was that in his letter he explained that his wife had been battling cancer for 2 years prior to that, and this particular purchase was a reward for both his wife and the family. Our team had no idea of that particular situation. They weren't aware of what their family had been through, yet they rallied together to really make that experience so much more than any normal delivery. For us, I guess it was a very pleasing thing to be a part of, and after reading that letter from Tim, we felt really privileged to be a part of that experience, and one that, as he says, they'll never forget.